everyone, this is Shashikala Patel. In this video, we are going to discuss about one of the government policies that is known as Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan is a centrally sponsored scheme of the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India, for the development of secondary education in public schools throughout India. The implementation of the scheme has started from 2009 to 2010 to provide conditions for an efficient growth, development and equity for all. The scheme includes multidimensional research, technical consulting, various implementation of the scheme started from 2009 to 2010 to provide conditions for an efficient growth, development and equity for all. The main objectives of Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan can be summarized as follows. Firstly and most importantly, to improve the quality of education imparted at secondary level through making all secondary schools conform to prescribed norms. Next one is to achieve the gross enrollment ratio of 75% from 52% in 2009 to 2014 for classes 9th to 10th within 5 years of its implementation by providing a secondary school within reasonable distance of any habitation. Next point is to provide universal education for all children between 15 to 16 years of age. The funding from the central ministry is provided through state governments, which establish separate implementing agencies. Next objective is to remove gender, socioeconomic and disability barriers. And last one is to enhance and universalize retention by 2020. Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan is planned to promote secondary education by establishing in every target school the following infrastructure: physical facilities, additional classrooms, laboratories, libraries, art and craft room, drinking water provisions, and residential hostels for teachers in remote areas. In addition to this, it aims to provide additional teachers to reduce student-teacher ratio to 30:1. It focuses on science, mathematics, and English education in service training of teachers, improving the infrastructure of science laboratories, ICT enabled education, curriculum reforms, and teaching learning reforms. Planning for children with special needs. With the enactment of the Persons with Disabilities Act 1995, this act entrusts certain governments and authorities for the provision of free access for these children towards education, allotted lands for certain purposes, non-discrimination in transports, financial incentive for them to undertake research, etc. This scheme has also taken up programmers for the attitudinal changes and capacity building among teachers for the sake of these children. So, in this scheme, firstly, we will focus on quality improvement of environmental education, promotion of yoga, as well as centrally sponsored scheme of population education project, international mathematics and science olympiads. The state governments provide in-service training for the teachers and provide infrastructure for science laboratories and research inputs. Going further, we will focus on access and equity of Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan not only emphasizes on providing secondary education for the special focus groups, which include scheduled tribe and scheduled caste groups, minority girls, and children with special needs children. But it also gives importance on removing the existing disparities in socio-economic and gender background in the secondary level of education. Now, let's just talk about certain strategies were implemented to provide free access towards secondary education, and they are given as following steps. Number 1, identification of the disadvantaged group. For this purpose, educational indicators like gross enrollment ratio, net enrollment ratio, dropout rate, retention rate, gender parity index, gender gap, etc. are analyzed. Next point is need of assessment. This is the critical step to prepare for the equity plan where the factors affecting the education of this group of children are evaluated with the involvement of the community members, teachers, civil society, etc. Next point is strategizing for the addressing gaps. Since there are multiple interwoven factors that cause the unequitable condition in this scenario, the strategy is called to have a set of multidimensional activities. Next point is project-based proposal. Development of this strategy enables the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan to call for an evidence-based strategy. It enables the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan to call for an outcome-oriented strategy because students can gain practical knowledge. Last point is integrated education for disabled children. Inclusive education has been highlighted to bring about expansion in terms of meeting the needs of the disadvantaged children. It includes several components for integrated child development services for early intervention. Now we will discuss the implementation mechanism of the scheme. The Ministry of Human Resources and Development is the nodal central government ministry to coordinate Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan with the help of Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan state implementation societies in each state. However, there are a lot of support arrangements and institutions available for better implementation of Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. For example, a national resource group provides guidance for bringing about reforms in curriculum, teaching learning material, ICT education, and mechanism of monitoring and evaluation. Another example, technical support group provides technical and operational support and expertise to national and state level teams. The various type of facilities provided under the scheme to the school are as below. Important physical facilities provided under the scheme. Additional classrooms, laboratories, libraries, art and craft room, toilet blocks, drinking water provision, and residential hostels for teachers in remote areas. Important quality interventions provided under this scheme. Appointment of additional teachers to reduce pupil-teacher ratio to 30:1. Focus on science, math, and English education. In-service training of teachers, science laboratories, ICT-enabled education, curriculum reforms, teaching learning reform. Next point is important equity interventions provided in the scheme. Special focus in microplanning, like giving equal opportunity to all the students to participate in classroom activities. Preference to ashram schools for upgradation. Preference to areas with concentration of SC, ST, minority for opening of schools. Special enrollment drive for the weaker section. More female teachers in schools and separate toilet blocks for girls. Therefore, we can conclude that Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan leverages support from a wide range of stakeholders, NGOs, advisors, and consultants and institutions. The field of its operation mainly covers the government and local body secondary schools located in the state and union territories. We can wind up by saying that this is a great initiative taken by the government which helps the underprivileged students to have their own identity by acquiring knowledge, skill to live a meaningful, independent life. So, in this way, today we have seen a government policy, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. Thank you for listening.